Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that takes complex ideas and, well, makes them clearer, hopefully giving you something useful you can take away.
That's the plan.
And today, we're diving into something we all experience constantly, but maybe don't always talk about clearly, our feelings.
Right. All those emotions from big bursts of happiness to just feeling a bit meh.
Exactly. Think about it for just a second right now. What's one feeling, even a small one, that you've noticed maybe in the last hour or so? Could be anything, a little bit of tiredness maybe, or excitement about something later. Because the thing is, whether it's a huge emotion or just a tiny little flicker, learning how to actually name it, understand it, maybe even share it, that's really powerful.
It really is. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We want to give you a kind of map, tools, words, ideas to help you navigate your own feelings better and connect more genuinely with other people too. It's about getting past just the surface level stuff.
Okay, let's get into it then. Why is it so important? I mean, talking about feelings, sometimes it feels a bit awkward or maybe even unnecessary, right? Why bother?
That's a fair question. And there are a few big reasons. First off, it's really good for your mental well-being. Seriously.
How so?
Well, when you put a feeling into words, you're kind of processing it. You're taking this messy internal thing and giving it some shape. It stops it from just swirling around inside, getting overwhelming. It's like letting off a bit of steam, preventing that bottled up feeling.
Ah, okay, so it's not just venting, it's actually understanding it better yourself.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that directly helps with communication.
Yeah.
Big time. When you can say, I'm feeling frustrated, instead of just acting grumpy, people get it. They understand where you're coming from.
Right, like telling someone I'm really happy today lets them share that a bit, doesn't it?
Exactly. Gives clarity. Less guesswork, fewer misunderstandings, and that leads to the third point, stronger relationships. Sharing how you genuinely feel, even the difficult stuff, it builds trust. It's like you're building a little bridge between you and the other person. Vulnerability, when it's met with understanding, creates a really strong bond.
So if you tell a friend, hey, I'm feeling kind of sad today.
Yeah, it gives them a chance to respond with empathy, right? To say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, what's going on, or can I help? That wouldn't happen if you just said, I'm fine.
That makes total sense. So, okay, summing that up, it's good for our own headspace, makes communication clearer, and actually deepens our connections with people. Wow, that's pretty fundamental stuff.
It really is.
All right, so let's get practical. We need the words. Let's start with the basics, the everyday feelings we all know, but maybe we can look at them a little closer.
Sounds good. These are the building blocks.
Okay, first up, happy. Seems simple, but what does it look like?
Well, happy is often about smiling, laughing, feeling light, like maybe you're having a great conversation or you achieve something. You could say, I'm feeling really happy talking about this right now.
Nice. Okay, the opposite. Sad.
Sad is that feeling of being down, maybe wanting to cry. It could be small, like maybe it's raining and you want to go out. Or it could be much bigger, of course.
Right. And angry.
Ooh, angry. That often feels hot, tense. You might want to shout or clench your fists. Maybe you missed your bus or someone was unfair. That frustration bubbling up.
Okay. Then there's tired. Pretty common one.
Very common. That heavy feeling, wanting to sleep, low energy, after a long day's work, or maybe just not enough sleep. Simple as, I feel really tired.
Got it. How about excited?
Excited is that buzzy feeling, looking forward to something good, like before a holiday or a party or seeing someone you care about. Lots of energy there.
And scared.
Scared or afraid. That feeling you get when something feels threatening or dangerous, watching a spooky movie maybe, or hearing a loud, unexpected noise at night. Your heart might beat faster.
Yeah, definitely. And what about nervous? Is that different from scared?
It's similar, but often less intense, and usually tied to performance or uncertainty. Like before a test or a job interview or, maybe giving a presentation. Butterflies in your stomach kind of feeling.
Totally get that one. Okay, one quick technical point here. I hear people say, I feel happy, and sometimes I am happy. Same for tired, sad, etc. Does it matter which one we use?
That's a great question. For everyday conversation, honestly, not really. I feel happy and I am happy. I mean, pretty much the same thing. Same for I feel tired, I am tired.
Okay.
Both are perfectly correct. Maybe I feel sometimes suggests it's more temporary, just how you feel right now, while I am can feel a tiny bit more like a state of being. But honestly, don't sweat it. Pick the one that feels natural.
Good tip. Don't overthink it. So there's the basics, but feelings aren't always just happy or sad, are they? It gets more complex.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets interesting, adding more detail, more nuance.
Let's try some. How about
Frustration. That feeling when you're trying to do something and it's just not working, it's difficult, you keep hitting a wall, maybe putting together IKEA furniture with bad instructions. That's frustration.
Yes. Definitely felt that. Okay, overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed is when there's just too much. Too much to do, too many things to think about, too many demands. You feel like you can't possibly manage it all. Students often feel overwhelmed with exams and homework, for example.
I can see that. It's like being swamped.
Yeah.
And anxious. You mentioned nervous earlier. How is anxious different?
Anxious is like nervous, but usually stronger, more persistent. It's that feeling of worry, unease, often about something uncertain in the future. You might feel it physically, like a knot in your stomach. Before a really big, important job interview, you might feel anxious rather than just nervous.
Okay, a stronger sense of worry. Got it. Let's do a positive one. Proud.
Proud is that wonderful feeling you get when you, or someone you care about, achieve something good. You feel satisfaction, accomplishment. Finishing a really hard project at work, or seeing your child learn something new, like riding a bike. That's pride.
That's a lovely feeling. Okay, how about lonely?
Lonely is that feeling of being alone and wanting connection, even if there are people physically around you. It's a sense of isolation, wishing you had someone to talk to or share something with. It's important to remember it's okay to feel lonely sometimes.
Yeah, that's a really important point. And confident.
Confident is believing in yourself, feeling sure of your abilities. You feel strong, capable, ready to tackle something. Like when you know the answer in class and you feel confident putting your hand up.
Okay. And lastly for this section, disappointed.
Disappointment is the sadness you feel when your hopes or expectations aren't met. Something you were looking forward to didn't happen or didn't turn out as well as you'd hoped. Like maybe your favorite sports team loses a really important game. That's disappointment.
Right. Okay, these words definitely add more precision. But feelings aren't just on or off, are they? They have different levels of strength. How do we talk about that?
Exactly. The intensity matters hugely. And English has lots of great words modifiers to show that intensity. We can use words like a bit, a little, slightly, or quite, pretty rather, going up to very, really, extremely, or even completely, utterly, totally.
So you can dial it up or down.
Precisely. Think about sadness. You could be a bit sad because, I don't know, you dropped your ice cream. It's minor.
Annoying but minor.
Right. But if you lost something incredibly important, like a relationship or a job, you might feel completely devastated or utterly heartbroken. The modifier shows the huge difference in scale.
Okay, so a little bit nervous before giving a quick update in a meeting.
Versus extremely anxious before speaking to a huge audience or taking a major exam. The words a little bit versus extremely paint a totally different picture.
It adds color, like you said. Makes it much clearer.
Exactly. More color, more precision.
Fantastic. Now, this is often a fun bit for learners' idioms. Those phrases that don't always mean what the individual words suggest, but they capture feelings so well.
Yes. Idioms make your English sound much more natural, more fluent. They can be tricky, but they're worth learning.
Okay, let's try a few common ones related to feelings. First, I'm on cloud 9.
A classic. On cloud 9 means you are incredibly happy, ecstatic, overjoyed, like you're floating.
So, example.
I just got the job offer I wanted. I'm absolutely on cloud 9.
Perfect. Okay, next. I'm feeling under the weather.
This one is super useful. It means you're feeling slightly unwell, a bit sick, but maybe not seriously ill. It's a polite way to say you're not feeling your best.
Right, so you might say.
Sorry, I don't think I can come to the party tonight. I'm feeling a bit under the weather.
Very handy. Okay, how about this one? He's walking on eggshells.
Ooh, picture it. If you're walking on eggshells around someone, it means you're being extremely careful about what you say or do because that person is very sensitive, easily upset, or maybe in a bad mood. You're trying desperately not to upset them.
Like trying not to break fragile eggs, yeah. So, things are tense at home. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around my flatmate.
Exactly that kind of situation.
Yeah.
And one more. It broke my heart.
This sounds serious.
It usually is. It means something made you feel extremely sad, deeply disappointed, or emotionally wounded. It conveys a real depth of feeling.
Like hearing about their dog passing away, honestly, it broke my heart.
Yes, exactly. These idioms, you pick them up gradually by hearing them and trying them out. Don't worry about getting them perfect first time.
Good advice. Okay, so we've talked a lot about expressing our feelings, but communication is a two-way street. How do we get better at asking others how they feel and responding in a way that shows we actually care? That empathy piece.
Crucial part. And it starts with how you ask, how are you? Is fine, but like we said, it often just gets fine.
Right, the standard answer.
To go deeper, you could try asking, how are you really doing? Or how are you feeling about everything? That signals you're open to a real answer.
That little word really makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does. Or if someone seems quiet or worried, maybe, is something on your mind? Or gently, you seem a bit preoccupied. Do you want to talk about it? The key is offering the space, not demanding information. Give them the choice.
Offering the space, I like that. Gentle ways to invite sharing. So helpful. Okay, so let's say someone does share something difficult. How do we respond with empathy? What does that actually mean?
Empathy is really about trying to understand and share the feeling of another person. It's not about fixing their problem necessarily, but about being present with their feeling.
Okay, so what can we actually say?
Simple phrases can be powerful. That sounds really hard, or that must be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
This validates their feeling, shows you recognize the struggle.
Yeah, it acknowledges it.
You can also say, I understand how you feel. Or, if you haven't had the exact same experience, maybe, I can only imagine how tough that must be. It shows you're trying to connect with their emotional experience.
Right, relating to the feeling itself.
And sometimes the most powerful thing is just, I'm here for you. It means, you're not alone in this, I support you.
That's huge.
And finally, always try to say, thanks for sharing that with me. It shows you appreciate their trust and vulnerability and makes it more likely they'll open up again in the future.
Those are really practical, powerful phrases. They genuinely help build stronger relationships, don't they?
Absolutely. Empathy is key.
Let's put all this together now. Think about some real-life situations. How would we use this language? Say, you've had a really bad day at work. What could you say instead of just work was bad?
Okay, a bad day.
Yeah.
You could say, I'm feeling really drained and actually quite frustrated today. My computer kept crashing and I just felt overwhelmed with meetings.
Much more specific than bad. Or maybe.
Or you could say, I'm feeling pretty stressed and a bit burned out after this week. Using burned out signals, it's more than just one bad day. It's accumulated stress.
Burned out. Yeah, that's a good one for work contexts. Okay, positive side. Excitement before a trip or a big event.
Instead of just, I'm excited, you could say, I'm so incredibly excited about my holiday next week. I honestly can't wait.
I'm so...
Or, using an idiom, I'm on cloud 9 thinking about the concert tomorrow. It conveys more energy, more anticipation.
Love it. Okay, a tougher one. Sadness after something like a breakup or a big disappointment.
Yeah, these are hard. You might say, to be honest, I'm feeling heartbroken about the breakup. It's been really difficult. Or, I'm deeply disappointed that the project didn't get approved. I put so much into it. Using words like heartbroken or deeply disappointed shows the significance.
It really communicates the depth of feeling. And you mentioned burned out for work stress. Are there other professional ways to talk about feeling overloaded?
Yes. Besides burned out, you might say, I'm feeling stretched pretty thin right now, meaning you have too many responsibilities. Or simply, I think I need to take a short mental break, which signals you need time to de-stress and refocus. These are generally seen as professional ways to communicate pressure.
Stretched thin, mental break, good professional options. Okay, this is all super helpful. Thinking bigger picture for a moment, does culture play a role in how people express emotions?
Oh, hugely. Absolutely. What's considered normal or appropriate emotional expression varies dramatically across different cultures.
Right. I've heard that in some cultures, it's more common to keep feelings, especially negative ones, more private, more reserved.
Exactly. Display rules, as they're sometimes called, differ. In some societies, showing strong emotion openly might be seen as disruptive or impolite. Whereas in others, particularly many English-speaking cultures, there's often more value placed on directness and openly expressing how you feel. It can be seen as a sign of honesty and helps build trust quickly.
So learning to talk about feelings in English is kind of tied into understanding that cultural aspect too, that openness.
It is, to some extent. You're not just learning vocabulary, you're learning the cultural nuances that go with it. It's all part of becoming truly fluent and connecting effectively.
Fascinating connection. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, any final quick tips for our listeners to keep practicing this?
Definitely. Practice is key.
My first thought is maybe keeping a simple feelings journal. Just jotting down maybe one sentence a day in English, like, today I felt, and naming a specific feeling and maybe why. Today I felt proud because I finished my report.
That's a brilliant idea. Active recall and application.
And my second tip, try describing your day to yourself or maybe to a friend using more emotional language. Don't just say, my day was good. Try, well, the morning was a bit stressful, but then I felt really relieved when my meeting went well, and I ended the day feeling pretty content.
Excellent advice. The more you practice connecting the words to your actual experiences, the more natural it will feel.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's absolutely how we learn, especially with something as nuanced as feelings.
Great reminder. Be patient with yourself. Learning to talk about feelings in any language is a journey. It takes time.
It really does. And maybe a final thought to leave with our listeners. Thinking about all this, beyond just the words we've discussed, what's one small new way you can try to genuinely connect with someone this week? Maybe by sharing how you're really feeling, or by creating that safe space to ask how they are truly feeling. Something to ponder.